Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Already a lot of information, but no coffee break, so it's a little difficult. But yeah, I'll start with a poem just to wake you up. In the shape of your shadow. Deep down in the ocean, I decided to wait. I was waiting for your current, swirling and forceful, surrounding my body with its gaze. 7 days from now, I will read this for you. Perhaps my voice will tremble. However, thrilled to read for you. A current swirled, pointed to another direction, releasing me from my imprisonment, from deep, dark sea space. I swam as fast as I could see, whether I could meet you at the ocean surface. My gaze fixed on your image, empty space between ocean and sky, reflected an unusual reflection, a portal to another dimension. Writing was a lonely process as ink dissolved with every new word by salt of seawaters and tears from my eyes. In the shape of my shadow, I looked for yours to hide. Can I be the shape of your shadow under gray skies and marine blue seas? Someone wrote on a print a description with the date 19 October 2023. Some perhaps think you can influence the future, but I think we can change the past. They were snippets of what people were thinking in reflection to the work. They seemed to be a simple comment, but on a closer inspection, they had a kind of psychological layer or a bodily experience over time. I think a scene can be from some current ideas and concept in cinematography and artist subject matter in contemporary art. The body stands in a twilight zone between past and future. We see ideas about portals enabling us to travel with our bodies in wormholes, and ideas about quantum physics that contemplate on the smallest parts possible. The behavior of matter by Newton's physical theories do not align anymore. A basic idea of this physics is that the smallest matter does not behave as scientists had predicted, but that the observer influences the matter. Matter can occur from energy, and so consciousness has influence on matter as well as space. Matter then influences other matter thousands of kilometers apart and can thus be in two spaces at the same time, which means past, present, and future are intertwined. The uncertainty of time influenced me as an artist, my spiritual being, and connected my body to the cycle of holy celebrations. The uncertainty of time is something that will still influence me in my current work as an artist, as well as the Indian notion of cyclic time in the concept of Kala. In the creation, arising, existence, and destructions of being, which possess this time, remaining in a divided state, is said to be the cause. Well, you can read this later in my book or something, because it's a bit, maybe not, yeah, it's a bit deep, like maybe I should also do that, deep, but yeah. So it's quoted from Bharat Bhattacharya. And the time Kala is it's about Kala, which is the Indian concept of time from the Sanskrit language. And so Kala is a creative power, and time just drives and pushes through objects into the point where a secondary cause-effect relation takes hold. So, okay, I think I'm gonna stop here because it's gonna be a little bit too scientific and all. So I'm gonna go and show you some artwork now. So when I was a child, I had a repetitive dream for years. And recently I was in Curacao and then I painted this. And it's somehow I tried to also visualize the dream. So besides writing, I also make some visual works, but I am very interested in the relationship between the two, I think. So the dream, I don't think I will explain the dream because I want to read you something else later. But this is the installation, guided also by Tirso Marta and the conversations I had with him in Curacao. Coming from Surinamese background, I was curious also about about the conversation we have been having for years now also. So when I was there, I created like little altar on the ground, but also started writing in Papiamento, as well as in the script Devanagari. And you can see some scribbling on the wall there. So it says, Peronado no asali, a planta algun simia di mamutica. So I think what it means, because I forgot again the significance, is that when you are trying to plant a seed, the plant, does anyone speak Papiamento here? Because I forgot actually. But there will not appear anything like the Supropo. So I try to explore Papiamento, but I don't understand Papiamento at all. So a flower that has the form of the Supropo. And I really like the word douche. It's kind of like cutie or something like that. So I said, eat douche, eat cutie, eat it. Because, yeah, some of you maybe don't know the Karaila, which you see here, is Supropo, Karaila. You can eat it. It's very bitter. Bitter melon. Yes, thank you. I'm very fond of it. So yeah, it inspired my work, and then I go back here. So it's about this bitter taste, decolonizing by bitter taste, right? Because it's not appropriated to the colonizers' platter or whatever food, because it was too bitter. So it stays its own identity. And then I wrote a lot on these things. So I won't read everything because I don't even remember what it means, right? Because I forgot the Papiamento again. Okay, so this is the altar. So I just guide you through some work, and then I read again from the book that is also here. Yeah. So this was the process of the residency that I did in Curacao just before I was invited by Marie Jose to do the exhibition that you can see later. And just before that, I was doing this process. And on my head is like little Supropo also. And that started in Dresden to work with this. In Saxis and Schweiz, where the paintings of Caspar David Friedrich are painted. Some of you know the Romanticism and like the figures that you see from the back. So I wanted to take Supropo also with me to the Saxis and Schweiz. And I call this Karaila prayer. So always playing with language and visual, I think, because it's intriguing for me. And basically the introduction that was made to my work was also about contract labor, That is one of the things I studied in India for 5 years. And this is the family tree of the contract laborers that left India to go to Suriname. So maybe you can understand it or maybe not, then you can ask about it later. Yeah, and then I was also in Herrnhut, where is the oldest collection of objects of Suriname, one of the oldest, I think. And I was looking at the objects and making some notes on migration. And this is the head of the missionary. So is the Herrnhut collection influenced me to also research really on the diaries of Johannes King besides the contract laborers. So there was much more to explore, and my work is really about inter-ethnic connection. So I don't believe in order to talk about contract laborers, we have like one streamlined ethnic story. You have to always mix these inter-ethnic connections. And then when I took this picture and I exhibited in Germany in 2015, they asked me who are the refugees there. So it was very funny because I was in front of the picture, but the people thought it was a refugee camp. So it was also quite interesting. When you talk about migration, you know, am I the migrant? Am I the refugee? Or what am I? It's interesting. So yeah, I tried to post a letter to India, and then the German post went on strike. So, and then I decided to do my PhD in India. So I was trying to do post the application, I believe. But so yeah, all these things are part of my work, like fragments, notes, snippets, language. And the girl you see here is Rabia, and she took me there to the shop, which we call here Toko. And there I bought the Sopropo because I felt more at home with carrying it around. And yeah, there were the Pegida neo-Nazi demonstrations, so it was kind of safe to have this with me. And she learned me this phrase because I was about to go to India from Germany, and she said like, "Why do you have such a bitter face in Urdu?" And then I thought, wow, this is amazing. This phrase is really nice, you know? It's about your facial expression. But it talks for me also about decolonizing also. And at the same time, yeah, I made a whole exhibition about this in Rotterdam, which was called Why Do You Have a Face Like Sopropo? So change the word Karaila to Sopropo also because it's more relevant in Suriname. So yeah, it was really an inspiring meeting. This is the exhibition. So now I will a little bit read from the book again to make it a little bit more academic again. Right? Otherwise it's like, oh my God, so many notes, everything mixed up and chaos. Okay. So I'm seeing my nose all the time of the mic. It's in front of, I don't know how to do this better. Maybe like this. I held 4 pieces of Karaili in my hand. Karaili, because this is actually Karaili. It's a smaller version. The rain of Surinamese monsoon filled the house, slowly flooding its room with water. The sound of heavy rainfall had stopped for a while. The water level was about 15 centimeters high, and some household objects drifted in the water. An old newspaper with news from days that had passed, a yellow jerry can with some chemical mixture leaking in the water. I threw the Karaili in the water and watched their movement making circles, ripples, small sounds. Immersing bodily in the rainwater mixed with water from the streets, I began to feel fluid myself. Body movements urged a connection with the Karaili, holding, throwing it, swirling through the water, a reflection of the sky, a reflection on the white shiny surface of the bonnet of the car. Through my bodily movements, I attempted to suggest a search for intimate connection, using the Karaili, a small vegetable with bitter taste, a metaphor for the land of origin. My body rolled, immersed myself in the flooded basement of my aunt's house, letting loose Karaili and retrieving it from the water. The 4 Karaili were white, with a tint of light green, a rough textured variety, a little different from the ones found in India. For me, they symbolize bittersweet memories of traversing the waters of sea, slow passage of time during the period of pandemic isolation. Heavy rain gave me a sense of being alive, set against the backdrop of slowing down time. Being stuck indoors in Suriname made me feel as I was shifting to another dimension. The texture of the surrounding began to have more impact in my work, and the weather made a strong connection body-wise. Once awareness of time changed, sudden slowdown attuned me to a different sensation, and my temporal sense of archival research changed. I altered a mode of engagement. Close reading through expansion of time made a different kind of engagement possible. While traveling through the movement between various spaces were restricted, in fact, that I now had to live in close proximity to family relations, and their restricted space made me wonder, what do we really sense? The skin of Karaili has a texture one can slowly touch with the tips of one finger, gently move around its surface in circular shapes. And during that performance, I made movement of my body in the water. It reminded me of the soft and stony corals. Feeling the structure of skin and letting them float in the water, and then after a while I searched for it again. This was a process of engaging, disengaging in the temporary chaos of the flooded rooms. Here you see women indentured laborers in the market of Suriname. And here you see them with the painted backdrop made by Julius Muller, which is supposed to be the Netherlands. Well, through my emotional connection with this bitter taste of Karaila and its physical, peculiar appearances, it became a personal metaphor for the indentured laborers and their lives overseas. Like identifying with this vegetable urged me also to think of how Karaila could never be adapted to the cuisine and palate of the colonizer. It stayed authentic in the Indian cuisine, in the Caribbean, where it became also the mixed cultural cuisine, and the Afro-Surinamese community adapted the taste to its own preparation. So in the lingua franca of Suriname, I just mentioned, it is called sapropo. And according to the community, it refers to moon landscape, the form of the vegetable, And so in Suriname, it is not the same as in India. It has an uneven, shiny surface, and it makes it more like an alien sibling of the cucumber. Through disguise, through different lengths, shapes, and sizes, different green and white shade, suggesting that the Karaila holds multiple identities. So the passage describes this imagination that's also described by other, writers, like Safdar Saidi and Chinijo Mitinati, the sugar that was not sweet, imagining Raj, an ordinary man of Indo-Caribbean origin who lives in the Netherlands, waking up in the village in Uttar Pradesh in 1873 in India, and before departing by the boat to Calcutta, the villagers wrapped some of their belongings in the cotton fabrics. And so they departed with a small package. So one of these villagers called Lakshmi, she tells her that the package consists of the seeds of Karaila, Kora, and Bindi, so that Lakshmi can always think of her. Besides this, tarkari might not be available in the place of destination, and in order to survive, Hindustanis need their tarkari. So the Hindustanis, the Indo-Caribbean people need their vegetable. So I think I can maybe wrap up something like that. Or I don't know how my time-wise.
5 minutes?
Yeah. Okay. Another 5 minutes. Maybe.
You don't have to. Only if you want to. I can help you.
I can read something else, or I can whatever.
Questions of the audience?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, some questions. Yeah.
Do we have questions for this lovely lady, Sarojini Lewis?
It's a bit.
Because your exhibition is here, eh?
Yeah, it's in the front of the building.
Yeah. Can you maybe speak in the mic?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's in the front of the building.
Yeah.
So later you can just go there, and it's made with Razia Barsati, who I also met when I was stuck in Suriname for 5 months.
No.
Yeah, it was the pandemic, so there were no flights.
Oh, but that's a beautiful way to get started.
I was so happy. Like, who wants to be in the Netherlands with pandemic? I mean, it's like fucked up. I was happy in Suriname.
And, I have a question, real quick. I have a question.
Okay, sure.
What decolonial story needs to be told? Because there are so many exhibitions and so many beautiful people that talk about this very important theme. But what story needs to be told?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. And I think also we are getting a little bit overloaded with the theme, right?
Yeah.
And also we feel that we have to talk about the theme because we are not white skin color, right? I'm not white. But on the other hand, I think to stay close to your sensation and emotion is very important, because decolonizing means decolonizing attitude also. It means taking space for yourself and your emotions. And that is for me very important. Decolonizing attitude means that you don't push your ideas in someone's mind also. It means to give a space.
Oh, I
Right?
love that. Applause for that. I love that. I love that. And is there a final message that you want to give us all? That when we are in bed, we think, oh, Sarojini told us this. Maybe I have to think about it more.
Well, if you're in Delhi next week, come and see my talk. I don't know. It's real. If you all want to come to Delhi, maybe?
Yeah.
That's the message.
I mean, let's go. Let's make it a group activity. I love it. Everybody, give a hand for Sarojini Lewis.